Training camp is in full swing, and we are as well here on Bills by the Numbers, where we let the stats tell you where the Bills are at. We're presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Coming up, an early look at the players impressing in training camp. What could be the biggest development on offense, defense, and special teams, and who could be making a move up the depth chart. Steve will be quizzed on preseason game history, and we'll have our one burning question. Ring the bell. We've already begun. Glad to have you with us here on Bills by the Numbers. He is Bills Hall of Famer Steve Tasker. I'm Bills play-by-play man Chris Brown, and we have reached the dog days of training camp as we enter the final full week of work at St. John Fisher University. But a lot has happened since training camp began, and Steve and I delve into every aspect of what has taken place and could impact final roster decisions. So in these three things, we begin with thing number one, the players we believe that have impressed in the early going. Steve, give me two or three players that in the first full week of training camp have maybe exceeded what you anticipated you would see from them on the practice field.
Out of the gate, I'll give you a veteran and a rookie. A veteran would be probably Christian Benford.
Mm-hmm.
That guy owns the DB room now. He is paid like a number one. He acts like a number one. Leads like a number one, plays like a number one.
Even more vocal.
More vocal. He's vocal.
I mean,
like
he was a
number
quiet
one.
guy.
He was a quiet guy. He's not so quiet now. He's chirping. He's leading the competitive charge in the one-on-ones. I think Trey White has been a great addition to come back and be a part of that. His level of comfort, his experience, his credibility in the room. I think he and Benford are the perfect combo. A little bit like Poyer and Hyde were in the safeties room. Those two guys in the corner room are really going to help the rest of that crew elevate. So that's one, Christian Benford. The other, probably, although you haven't seen too much of it and it's hard to probably Jackson Hawes.
Okay.
The way he has acclimated towards it, the physicality he brings to it, and we've seen the defense be a little bit chippier and nastier in this training camp than we've seen in years past. Hawes kind of has answered it and shown a level of competence and nuance at that not many rookies have at the pro level, particularly in the intricacies of the blocking schemes and that kind of thing. He hasn't shied away from it. So I think those two out of the gate. Now, there's probably a couple others that are going to come to me, but I think Jackson Hawes and Christian Benford, one guy obviously a veteran and the other guy brand new, are the two guys that I've noticed.
Okay. I assumed one of those names would come up, and so I kind of threw some others into the mix. And for veteran players, I've got three players total here. Shaq Thompson, for a veteran player who just ruptured his Achilles last September, like end of September. September 30th, I believe, was the date that he ruptured his Achilles. He's essentially 10 months removed from that. And you feel him and recognize his presence.
He's like a shadow.
On the practice field.
Yeah.
Like,
he's everywhere.
You notice him. And I think his reps on the practice field have reflected that accordingly through the course of the first week. Because he was running third team at the start of camp. And now, when they go base defense, he is the third linebacker on the field. Now, that's probably due in part to the fact that Dorian Williams has been hurt. So we don't want to dismiss that, because I think Dorian Williams, when he's healthy, is this team's third linebacker. But he's also getting second team work, again, due to the absence of Dorian, alongside Joe Andreessen at the Mike spot. And, the 2 days in pads, you're hearing him. He is popping people.
You feel, Brownie said it right, you feel him. It's like a cloud goes over the sun. Everybody in the whole place is like, oh, there he is. It's like everybody senses it. It's interesting that you put it that way. It's true. And whatever role he has with this team, you think about it, just what an experienced guy. Now, certainly, you're right. He may be the fourth linebacker on the depth chart to get on the field to play. but he's going to play teams. He'll contribute. He's a kind of veteran guy like that. Andreessen will benefit from him.
And he knows this scheme from his time in Carolina.
At his age and level of experience and his fragility of that we all see 30-something guys go through, they ain't going to need him to play 65 snaps.
I'm just impressed with how good he looks and how well he is moving 10 months removed from an Achilles injury.
He's a perfect fit.
That's the thing that's exceeded my expectations. Yeah. I thought, okay, this guy's going to get a look in camp. We know his history. He's an accomplished player, but is he the same guy, this far into his career off a major injury and being less than a year removed from it? I thought my thinking going into camp was, okay, he's 10 months removed from the Achilles. He's not going to be back to his normal self, but he's going to flash enough where McDermott and his defensive staff are like, this guy's a valuable veteran to have. Let's put him on the practice squad, and if he gets better as the year wears on, well, then we'll find a spot for him on the active roster, or we'll elevate him 2 or 3 times when we need him. I think he's in play to be one of the linebackers on the 53 now.
The role what we're saying about Shaq is he's like A.J. Klein was for this club for a couple of years.
Except he's more physically gifted.
Yes, exactly. He's a better
even
athlete.
Off an Achilles.
He's a better athlete. So that's kind of what I'm seeing him too. Yeah.
So that's one guy. Second guy, and this guy's had good training camps before, but the consistency of play has me encouraged because I said this guy could be a double-digit sack guy for the first time in his career this year. Greg Rousseau is having a fantastic training camp, factoring into the passing game with batted passes, getting consistent pressure off the edge, and they've lined him up exclusively at left end. I think they want him just position-specific because I think they feel they could squeeze more out of him if they just leave him over there instead of flipping him back and forth. He's been great, and I hope he can carry that into the preseason and the regular season and really just be screaming off that edge all season long, especially knowing the attention Bosa is going to get on the other side. And then the last guy is a guy we've talked about on our daily show, One Bills Live, and I asked Connor McGovern about him. It's the undrafted rookie center Jacob Bayer out of Arkansas State. In the absence of Cedric Van Pran Granger, the former 5th-round pick who has not participated in training camp due to a calf injury suffered right before camp started, Bayer has been the biggest beneficiary. So much so that early in camp, you saw, in the absence of Cedric Van Pran Granger, you saw Alec Anderson taking some center reps with the second team, Kendrick Green taking some center reps with the second team. Now you have Bayer, who is pretty much a center only because he's so squatty. He's
short.
He's getting more than half the second team reps at the center position.
Yeah.
And we watched him in one-on-one drills, pass rush drills. He held his own against some of the biggest players on this roster, Deion Walker, Zion Logue. And Connor McGovern said, he's a shorter Mitch Morse. To me, that's a huge compliment. But if you look at his background, 4-year starter in college, granted, at Arkansas State, smaller school, but we talk all the time about how much rookie quarterbacks benefit from college experience. Bo Nix last year, 59 starts in college. Jaden Daniels, 61 starts in college. And you saw the kind of rookie years they had. Granted, they had good coaching too. I think it applies to offensive linemen also. He had 24 starts as a 4-year starter, so he had some injuries, nicked up a little bit. I think that goes a long way, especially for an undrafted kid trying to make a roster. And I'm not saying he's going to make the 53. But this guy's going to hang around.
He might be in the building.
He'll be in the. I think he is going to be in the building.
So I'm with you. He has been impressive. His ability to anchor and stop a bull rush from down inside on guys that are 300 pounds plus is impressive.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. Yeah.
He's got a great low center of gravity, and you can't move him. Second thing, based on your observations at training camp, what do you think could be the biggest development on offense, on defense, and on special teams?
I don't know how you can develop any further on offense with this club. Certainly, they could bring more tools to the table. Man, they punted like twice a game.
Well, let me frame it this way for you. You know that offenses have to morph and change every year.
Sure.
You cannot stay the same in this league because teams have been studying all offseason on what you did the previous year. So Maybe in what way are you expecting this offense to be a little different?
If you parachute into this season from last season, mid-season, what's going to look different? I think they're going to bring back the deep ball. I think they'll have more of an ability to take a lid off the defense and threaten them all over the field. Last year was because of the all-you-can-eat, everybody eats.
Yeah.
Everybody eats mentality. They tended to dink and dunk a little bit, and when they did go deep, it wasn't always successful. They did it a couple of times, but I think they'll be more of a threat and a higher percentage, be able to complete a higher percentage of deep balls when they try and do it. That's one thing offensively. Defensively, I think the floor is going to raise. I think they're going to be better on third down. I think they'll be better against the run. I think they'll be better in the secondary. I think they're going to get better everywhere because of the upgraded talent up front and in the back end. Their linebackers are really the only crew, with the exception of Shaq Thompson, that may kind of stayed the same. Ton of new faces and new contributors up front. And the secondary is going to be different, very different, I think. You're going to have at least 3 new starters and a 5-man rotation in nickel, which is kind of their base defense. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think the floor, the defense is going to be markedly improved in every aspect, which doesn't say too much because of the struggles they had last year. But that's going to be different. And special teams, I don't think they're going to puke away any games this year. Overtime punt return, 12 men on the field for a missed field goal that would have won a game. Blocked field goal.
Blocked punt in the playoffs against Pittsburgh.
Fake punt in the wild card round against Denver. A fake punt that they gave up. I mean, let's go down the list.
Blocked punt return for a touchdown and the 2-point loss to the Rams.
All of it. I don't think they're going to blow games on special teams. The floor of this game is that they're going to get a push in every game, where you're never going to give one up on special teams. Yeah. I think Codrington is going to be going to come back and play well. I think he'll get some competition this year from Chenault when he gets back on the field. All of that. So I think special teams are going to be much more solid and dependable, and occasionally maybe even outside of Bass kicking a 61-yarder to win a game, I think you're going to get a contribution there once in a while that's going to be like, wow, they made a difference in this game for the better, not for the worse.
Offense for me, I think the biggest development is we're going to see more pre-snap motion than we already have seen. This is a high pre-snap motion team. I think we're going to see even more this year, just based on what we've witnessed in the first week of practice. I think there's a good chance, with the presence of Jackson Hawes, as you mentioned, that we're going to see more 12 personnel, jumbo, and possibly 13 personnel going forward. I think it's all based on the learning curve trajectory of Jackson Hawes, who, from what we've been told, is quick as a whip. Defense, I think the biggest thing people will notice is that they are bigger and stronger up front, and I think that translates to better run defense. We'll see how the secondary comes together. I want to see a little more of that in the preseason, but I feel good about just the fact that physically this team is bigger and stronger up front, and from what we've seen in the 2 padded practices so far, the run front has been solid. Certainly more consistently solid than we've seen in years past. And then on special teams, I'll echo some of what Steve said. I think for the first time in a long time, the Bills have a special teams coordinator in Chris Tabor, who is going to give this team in that phase of the game a game day advantage. Not every week, but I think in a lot of weeks, Chris Tabor is going to put this special teams unit in a position to deliver a game day advantage in that phase of the game. I think he is that good. Third thing, who do you think has a chance to move up the depth chart if they can carry their early training camp play into the preseason, Steve?
That's a good one. It might be a guy like Hawes, but I would say probably more accurately who's going to carry?
Someone who's had a good first week and
might be Keon.
Okay.
Might be Keon.
I think he wants it bad.
I think he wants it bad, and I think he's really got. Now he's had, and I told you we had this conversation briefly or maybe it wasn't with you. We've been talking with so many people about
On
so
the
many guys.
sidelines, yeah.
Keon's had a case of the drops in camp.
We had one day where he had 3 drops.
That does not concern me.
Yeah.
I think he is really upped his intensity level in practice. He is the DBs all too. You can see it when they're on one-on-ones and he's lining up against defensive backs and they're playing man-to-man and they're right up in his face. Every DB tries to jump him, tries to get on top of him, tries to physicality, tries to push him off his way, and he's not having it. He is learning how to overcome that, and it's because I think that's what he's going to get as a big physical wide receiver. Teams always come at you like that, and because that's his asset, and you got to try and take away what he does best. I think Keon wants it bad. I think he's working hard, and I think if he can continue that, you can't help but get better when you work as hard as he is working. So that's the guy.
Yeah, that's a good pick because I remember saying on our daily show, One Bills Live, people were down on him. He had a rough day. I think it was the first Friday of training camp.
Right.
That's when he had the 3 drops. He also had a 60-yard touchdown, by the way, on the same practice. And I said, everybody just breathe easy here because the team wasn't even in pads yet. And what did we see this week? First 2 days in pads, you see Keon Coleman's full game on display from the physicality standpoint,
Right.
and what a difference. There's a difference. There is a noticeable difference from a non-padded practice with Keon Coleman to a padded practice, and that spells good things for real football games because guess what? You wear pads in those.
Yeah.
For me, I think a guy who carried his play in practice into the preseason last year and ended up making this roster, I think can level up again, and that's Joe Andreessen.
Yeah.
I think he will carry his solid play in the first week of training camp into the preseason, and this time I think he cements himself as the backup Mike linebacker for this football team by the time we get to September. He is my pick for that. I think Shaq Thompson, if he carries his play in practice into the preseason games, I think he's going to carve out a spot for himself on the active roster. As I said earlier, I thought he would be a guy they kept on the practice squad, and then hopefully he gets healthier and healthier coming off the Achilles, but he looks ready now, and they're going to have to make a decision there.
The interesting part about it is when you start going down that list, it really puts the spotlight on Balin Spector as to whether he's going to be able to hang on to that special
And
teams
Balin
slot.
Spector is battling himself maybe
Right.
more than anything else because
Right.
he's proven himself capable as a linebacker in this league when healthy. The problem is he has these chronic calf injuries that rob him of time on the field and, more importantly, chip away at the confidence that the coaching staff has in him because I think they believe in him as a player. I think they're just concerned about his long-term availability.
And Andreessen is a guy who is getting better.
Yeah.
So, and Andreessen, I mean, he shows up. He's available. I think that's the kind of thing you're looking at. Andreessen kind of steps up, and all of a sudden, Balin Spector becomes expendable because you got Andreessen, you got Shaq Thompson, you got Bernard, Dorian Williams, and Milano. You just run out of room.
Isn't it crazy that people were worried about the depth at linebacker, and now look at what they've got there?
Yeah.
I mean, you really got to tip your hat to the personnel department. First of all, finding Joe Andreessen, right?
Not just finding him, but believing enough in him.
Taking a swing on Shaq Thompson because you know him from the past and you
Right.
believe in the guy as a player and his resiliency and his work ethic. And now all of a sudden, you've got a numbers game at a position where you were wondering if you were going to have enough guys you could count on.
Yeah.
It's crazy how this personnel department works and finds people to fill holes on this roster.
I'll
I mean,
say this
really
too.
a bang-up
We talked about
job.
it a lot. It's not lost on us that guys who come over and play at a certain level, and they think, okay, he's a pretty good player. They come over and they get better here.
Well, yeah, that goes to the coaching staff, player
Coaching
development.
staff and the development staff here, it's hard to find a guy out there. Maybe there's one that I can think of off the top of my head that maybe went someplace else and played his best football, played better football.
Yeah.
There's like maybe one guy in 8 years, and that would be like Wyatt Teller, who they drafted, a guard that they drafted, and they were neck deep in it.
Yeah.
So they traded him as a 5th rounder or whatever, and he goes out to be an All-Pro. Not to say he wouldn't have played even better here had he stayed.
Yeah.
But it was so early in his career that he didn't get a chance to flourish.
Yeah.
That's what this, and it's not just the evaluation staff and Brandon Bean picking these guys. It is that, but it's also McDermott and the development staff and Dr. Dez and Joe, all the guys over in the sports science. The whole crew is over there, getting to find out how these guys are wired and giving them an environment that they can thrive in. They're hitting on a lot of cylinders here, and it's really evident in times like this when you got all these guys in here and you got some guy like last year, Joe Andreessen's. It's like, who?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, he was a rookie tryout. He was just a guy. And he is a legit NFL player now because of the environment and the coaching he's received. That's why they're right there every year.
Let's slide over to the numbers game now, where Steve will be quizzed on preseason game history for the Bills with the preseason fast approaching. Question number 1. When is the last time the Bills went unbeaten in the preseason in the McDermott era? So your window of time here is 2017 to 2024. When is the last time they went unbeaten in the preseason?
2022.
Oh, you're so close, Steve.
2021.
They went 3-0.
I know, it's right there.
Question number 2. Who was the team Buffalo last shut out in the preseason? They pitched a shutout in a preseason game. Any idea what team that might have been?
Carolina.
It was not Carolina. I think that was a 9-3 game. Carolina.
Hold on.
You were close.
Chicago?
It is not Chicago. That's a good guess. They play Chicago a lot in the preseason now. I'll give you one more crack at it. I'll give you a hint. You're in the right division.
No. Not Green Bay. No, I'd say, I don't know, Detroit.
It's not Detroit. It was Green Bay.
Was Green
Your
Bay.
initial thought was correct, Steve. They shut out
Talked
Green Bay
myself out.
19-0 in 2021. Question number 3. What is the most points the Bills have scored in a preseason game in the McDermott era?
Oh, my gosh.
In the McDermott era.
31.
Say again?
31.
Nope.
40. No kidding. 52.
No, that's too much. 40's close.
40, what, 42?
42 points, yes. Buffalo romped the Broncos 42-15 as Denver's offense managed just 3 field goals and a meaningless touchdown in the fourth
Was
quarter.
that last year or 2 years ago?
I believe it was 2022.
It's
Buffalo sprinted out to a 35-6 lead and never looked back. And the final question, Steve. This summer, the Bills have only NFC opponents for their entire preseason slate. The Giants, Bears, and Bucks. When was the last time the Bills had only NFC opponents for their entire preseason slate?
It's in the McDermott era.
Yes. And I'll give you another
2000.
hint. It was an earlier answer.
Oh, 2022?
No.
What?
That was the guess you gave for question
I
1.
know.
What was the correct answer?
Oh, 2021.
2021. That's right. They played the Lions, the Bears, and the Packers in 2021 and swept them. It's a different division now. It's a much more competitive
different
division than it
now,
was
yeah.
just 3 or 4 years ago.
I'll tell you what, you know what? It's amazing. Think about the changes in that division. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but Dan Campbell changed, Jordan Love in the Packers, and O'Donnell in Minnesota.
O'Connell.
O'Connell.
Yeah.
O'Connell, Jordan Love, and
Yeah, LaFleur with Jordan Love and the Packers.
And Dan Campbell.
Yeah. And now Dan
three
Campbell's assistant is in Chicago. as the
Three
head
human
coach.
beings changed the whole course of that.
Indeed.
Because because of Aaron Rodgers, the whole thing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Bills fans, get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Just download the app today to play any way you want. Plus, with live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. Best of all, you get paid your winnings fast. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the Buffalo Bills. Time now for our one burning question. What player will put together a breakout performance like the one we witnessed from Joe Andreessen last preseason at Pittsburgh? Joe blew up 12 tackles in about 15 minutes of game time, including dragging down Jaylen Warren in a one-on-one open field play. And Jaylen Warren can move. Like, he's a fast, big back, and he just ransacked him down to the ground. We were losing our mind watching Joe play in that game. Who has a performance like that this preseason?
I'm going to go off the board, and I'm going to say Dwayne Carter.
Woo!
I think Dwayne Carter
I'm intrigued.
showed up this year in this training camp. And I think he's off people's radar, because he had some injury struggles last year, right? I think he's going to remind people why they drafted him. That's what I think.
Dwayne Carter.
I think Dwayne Carter is going to...
Who's been playing more one technique,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I think he's got a shot.
He's a little nicked right now, so he missed practice in the middle or Tuesday of the first full week of training camp. So hopefully it's just a minor deal and he's back on the field soon. We don't have any word on what that injury was. I'm inclined to say Keon Coleman here.
Right.
Because I think he wants it so bad that
he may not get enough reps.
He might not. That's why I'm a little hesitant to
Right.
pick him. So I was gonna pick Tyrell Shavers, but he's hurt and out right now, and I'm not sure when he's gonna be back. But the way he was playing, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna stick with Tyrell. I'm gonna say his ankle injury is good by the time we get to the first preseason game, because this was a guy who early in camp before his ankle injury was getting first-team reps when everybody was healthy at receiver. They weren't missing really anybody, with the exception of Laviska Shenault at the receiver position. He was getting regular reps with the first team, and he was making plays. So I'll put a chip down on Tyrell Shavers, and I'll say that guy has some breakout performance in one of these three games.
Would that not be eye-opening? Because he's been in the building.
This is his fourth year here.
And, remember, and even McDermott was asked about him in one of his pre-practice press conferences, and he says, I remember that, taking that. It was a 33-7 or
the Jets
something
blowout game, right?
He catches the pass from Trubisky and goes 65. Like,
there's straight line
let me
speed
say
there.
this,
Yeah.
And let me say this. Here's what I noticed, because I remember this. When he scored that touchdown, the bench emptied. They love that guy.
Well, because the guy's been doing nothing but putting in work for the last 3 years.
His teammates
They finally
love
got
that
rewarded.
Guy. The teammates love that guy. The bench emptied. Everybody went down to the corner of the end zone to
and he's a
tap
great
that guy.
he's a great dude. If
So-
you've ever talked to him, a great dude.
I think he's the kind of player, but even if he comes out and he's the fifth guy, fifth wideout, McDermott loves guys like that on the active roster, like the Levi Wallaces, the Bob Fosters,
the Joe Andreessen.
Joe Andreessens. They love having guys on that roster because it's living proof that if you earn it, you get it.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that gives him a free pass. He's going to make it, but he's put the work in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great call. And if he's got to stay healthy, but man, oh man, that'd be great.
Our closing figure deals with preseason rushing totals from a season ago for the Bills. The top 4 preseason rushers are on the roster again this summer. Number 4 was James Cook, 10 carries for 27 yards. Number 3 was Ray Davis, 13 carries, 60 yards. Second was Darrington Evans, 13 carries, 63 yards. And at the top was then undrafted rookie Frank Gore Jr., 33 carries, 163 yards, and a touchdown. In 2023, Darrington Evans was the preseason rushing leader for Buffalo. Who takes the rushing title in the preseason this time around? We shall see. That's it for this edition. Be sure to subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use or on our Bills YouTube channel, where you can also watch us. That way you'll know when our next episode is out, because when you need to know about the Bills, you need to check Bills by the Numbers. Steve Tasker, I'm Chris Brown. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time, everybody.